What's up, guys? Today we're going to be reacting to another Matt Walsh video. We're going to try and laugh at Chelsea Handler's stand-up. So, not really a big fan of Chelsea Handler. I know her. I know of her. I know that she had like a late night TV show or something like that, right? Back in like the early 2000s or something. Yeah. Let's just see how she does. And since that, I did so bad at the other try not to laugh reaction, let's see how badly I do at this one.
And then he wanted to know about my family history. I was like, that's not what this is about. Nothing to see there. I was like, my brother died when I was a little girl. My mom died like 8 or 10 years ago. My dad's a huge pain in the ass, so hopefully he'll wrap things up this year. And I said, and quite frankly, like, I'm ready to wrap it up too. I said, Dad, I'm not suicidal. You don't have to worry about it. But people say life is too short. I think it's too long. Like, there's so many annoying people out here, and I just can't deal with it. I said, I'm losing my patience.
Okay, so this isn't comedy so much as it's a suicide note. There's literally no joke here. She's just talking about how much she hates her family and her own life and wants to die. And the cackling audience is laughing. Yeah, life is horrible. I'm in despair. Good one. Horrible life. This is great stuff. Like, I hope the people in the audience never volunteer at a suicide hotline. That's all I'm saying. It's a very troubling reaction. But let's, maybe it gets funnier. Let's keep going.
Yeah, she sounded like a little girl or something like that, crying about her family to her boyfriend or something. It doesn't seem like something a grown woman should be complaining about. And maybe, it's just for her audience. Maybe it's just for her stand-up routine. But, comedians are like, I guess some comedians are like some of the weirdest people in the world, right? Like, you can probably agree with that, right? And Chelsea Handler is probably one of them. Yeah, she's complaining about some really weird things. Hopefully her father doesn't see this stand up.
I need you to help me with my lack of patience. And he said, okay, give me some examples of your lack of patience. And I said, okay, fine. I was at a table like this, probably a little bigger, with 3 of my girlfriends before my session that day with Dan. My girlfriend orders a turkey burger, no onion, no bun, no cheese. That's fine, we live in LA. So the server comes over with his hands full with 4 plates and comes over, and we're all sitting at the table. We're not even talking. And he says, turkey burger? Who ordered the turkey burger? No onion, no bun, no cheese? And my friend is just sitting there like Stevie Wonder playing the piano. And he says it again louder. Turkey burger, no onion, no bun, no cheese. And this is her. I go, hey, you f***ing wake up! Is that your turkey burger? You can't order that and then forget that you ordered that.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
All right, so again, I'm not sure where the joke is supposed to be located here, and I'll let that play for a little while because I was sort of waiting for the joke. This isn't even try to laugh anymore. This is find the joke. It's like, where's Waldo? The challenge is just to figure out where the joke is. I mean, forget about actually laughing. I don't even know where I'm supposed to laugh. The audience, on the other hand, they just laugh at everything. I mean, this woman busts out a Stevie Wonder joke in the year 2020. And the audience acts like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard. Right. Maybe next you can make a joke about telemarketers, something really topical. Hey, what's the deal with telemarketers, huh? You ever heard of these people, telemarketers? So annoying. The audience would love that. That would kill this audience. And then, of course, at the end of the bit, the punchline, I guess, is that Chelsea Handler is a horrible person, which I'm perfectly willing to believe. She's screaming at her friend in a restaurant. So what we've learned is that Handler is depressed, miserable, suicidal, and on top of it, a terrible friend. These are all excellent things to say to your therapist. It's just not fit for a comedy stage. That's my only point. But we'll keep going.
I'm not a very patient person either. Like, for example, I don't like waiting in lines. I don't like long lines. I completely avoid them. I don't like sitting in traffic. I'd much rather, drive off the cliff and, just end it all right there other than, waiting in traffic. But if your friend just, is ignoring the waitress, or she has some kind of like disease that makes her look around at everything like she's super happy and doesn't know what's going on, I mean, maybe just nudge her and be like, hey, isn't that yours? To call her the C word and yell at her, and like, is that a real story, Chelsea? Like, that sounds crazy. Like, maybe you should really talk to this therapist about what's really going on about your patient problems. I just don't really get how that was supposed to be funny. It just seemed incredibly sad to be treating anybody else like that. To snap on somebody like that? And seriously, man, with the Stevie Wonder jokes, like, it is literally 2023 and people are still doing Stevie Wonder jokes? Like, she did it twice. Like, and the audience laughed equally hard at each time. I guess she's putting on a performance, right? She made the face and she did the thing, and I guess it was, you gotta be there for it to be funny. You gotta feel her energy doing the Stevie Wonder face for it to be funny. I guess. Wow, this is brutal. Wow.
I said, so that's one example. Would you like to hear another? He said, yes, please go on. I said, airports. I can't deal with the people that work at Hudson Booksellers. What's wrong with those people? What's up with the slowness of the transaction? I can't deal with the slowness of the transaction when I want to buy a book. Are those people, what is wrong with, are they koala bears?
Okay, I don't mean to keep focusing on the audience, but it's the only interesting thing happening in this clip. And there's one guy, I don't know if you heard, the one guy in particular in the audience, and he just lost it on the koala bear joke.
Koala bears?
Which didn't make sense anyway, by the way, because actually koala bears can run up to 30 miles per hour, and I did look that up. So they're not known for being slow necessarily. But also, she says koala bear. Koala bear. Koala bear. Koala bear. That's rich. Is she performing at a lunatic asylum?
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
That would maybe make sense of the whole thing. And it would explain the white jumpsuit she's wearing as well. So maybe that's it. Well, okay, we'll play this maybe to the end here.
I just don't really understand why it's so funny to just shit on people. Like, it seems like cheap comedy. It seems like cheap comedy to talk about airports and how slow people are, and how, I mean, because maybe you just got the slow worker that one day. Maybe you got the 22-year-old kid who comes in high every day and just really doesn't care, and he's just trying to get through school or something like that. Maybe you got that kid. Maybe you got to get the first shift workers, because the first shift workers, that's they're 9 to 5, right? Like, they want to do a good job and get paid and move on up in the bookstore or wherever it's at. It's just I don't find it funny to. I mean, if you're gonna shit on people, at least be funny. Koala bears, yeah, man, that's just. I don't find that funny at all. Like, koala bears. Like, I don't know.
He said, well, how do you handle that? I go, I have to shoplift. Have to. I said, I get the book and I wave it to the security camera. Always. I always say, hey, it's me, Chelsea Handler. I'm taking this because your koala bear's on a branch somewhere in the back. I'm like, I'm going to leave $40 here, and hopefully they'll find it when she comes out from her nap, if she'll find it before a stranger does. But it's on this bookshelf. I didn't steal. I'm leaving, and then I skedaddle. And Dan was looking at me when I said that. I was like, what? Is that white privilege too? He's like, no, Chelsea, white people aren't even doing that.
Okay. I'm just going to cut that off here. I don't even want to hear where that's going, because it's not going anywhere. None of this is going anywhere. This is really just a woman complaining about things. This is just her complaining, which there's no shortage of that in the world already. She basically took the content of any random Marco Polo that she sent to one of her middle-aged female friends and decided to run with it as a comedy bit, which, fine, okay, but really, if you're going to do that, you should inject a couple of jokes here and there. I'm not a stand-up comedian. You know, don't take it from me. But I feel like if I was going to do a comedy bit, I would want to have really probably a lot of jokes, right? You probably want at least a couple, but even really a lot of jokes. Everything you say should be a joke or should be leading to a joke. I definitely wouldn't have no jokes. That's my point. No joke seems like a bad strategy as a comedian, yet it's one that all feminist comedians seem to go with. So let's try a different clip. We're gonna give up on that one. There's no laughs to be found there.
I mean, he's kind of right. You gotta actually have some jokes.
In comedy, what you do is you think of something that you think is funny, and then you go from there. It's a fun thing to say, Pop-Tart. I like the first line to be funny right away. When I was a kid and they invented the Pop-Tart, the back of my head blew right off. And that got the whole thing started, that a specific part of my head blew off. Not just my head, but just the back. It was the 60s and we had toast. We had orange juice that was frozen years in advance that you had to hack away at with a knife to get a couple of drops, and it felt like you were committing a murder before you got on your school bus. Then I talk about shredded wheat, which was like wrapping your lips around a wood chipper. You have breakfast, and then you had to take 2 days off for the scars to heal so you could speak again. So in the midst of that dark and hopeless moment, the Pop-Tart suddenly appeared in the supermarket, and we just stared at it like an alien spacecraft, and we were like chimps in the dirt playing with sticks. What makes that joke is you got chimps, dirt, playing, and sticks. In 7 words, 4 of them are funny. Chimps are funny. Then there's the trying to figure out as a kid, how did they know that there would be a need for a frosted fruit-filled heatable rectangle in the same shape as the box it comes in and with the same nutrition as the box it comes in. In the midst of that darkness and hopelessness, the Kellogg's Pop-Tart appears. And they always laugh there because that indicates, oh, he's telling us a story. And then my next joke that I want to get to is chimps in the dirt with sticks. So now I'm looking for the connective tissue that gives me the really tight, smooth link, like a jigsaw puzzle link. And if it's too long, if it's just a split second too long, you will shave letters off of words. You count syllables, to get it it's more like songwriting. Then I had to figure out how to end the thing, and that's the hardest part. If you have a long bit, the biggest laugh has to be at the end. It has to be. It can't be in the middle or the beginning. And this was very daunting. Once this Pop-Tart had come into the world, I didn't understand why we were still eating other kinds of food, because this seemed to be definitely the new way. 2 in the packet and 2 slots in the toaster. Why 2? 1's not enough, 3's too many. And they can't go stale because they were never fresh. They can't go stale because they were never fresh. That took a long time. And I know it sounds like nothing, and it is nothing. In my world, the wronger something feels, the righter it is. So to waste this much time on something this stupid that felt good to me.
See, Jerry Seinfeld is one of the best comedians of all time, held by all of his friend comedians as one of the greats, right? And it's because of this process right here, breaking down his experience as a kid of something so simple as the Pop-Tart coming out. Now, I'm sure like you remember something like maybe when the cell phone came out, or when like the best, graphics of a video game came out or something like that. And breaking it down to how you experience that on a childlike intellect is just, it's something that's just so creative and just so funny that you got to respect it. You got to respect it. I mean, just, moral of the story, like, please come up with, more creative jokes, Chelsea Handler. But just, talking about just stupid things about how much you hate people and how slow people are and how people inconvenience you because you're not a very patient person it's just not really funny. And it's not, me personally as a guy, it's not something I really want to hear women complain about. Like, women have enough to complain about, and they do it very willingly. And to get up on stage and just complain about all the things that annoy you about life is just not funny. It's just annoying. Like, it's maybe funnier to simpler people, but not me. And I'm not saying that I'm this, incredibly smart, intelligent person and you need to, really impress me with your intellect when you are telling jokes. But I can appreciate Jerry Seinfeld getting up on stage and talking about his experience when Pop-Tarts came out. And then all the creative ways he describes to you how he was just so blown away that Pop-Tarts were a thing now. I mean, I can appreciate that. But cheap jokes like how people are so stupid like koala bears and slow like koala bears, it's not funny. And how you're going to shoplift now because you just can't wait, like, I get it, Like I said, like, I'm not a very patient person. I don't like traffic. But I'm not going, like, I don't think that's a joke. I don't think that it's funny that I'm not a patient person. I don't think that me wanting to commit suicide because I'd much rather do that than wait in traffic. It's just, I don't think it's really funny. I think it's a problem that I have. I could be a little bit more patient person. Like, it's not funny. It's just not funny. All right? Okay. Like, yeah, peace out.